All right, let's don't waste any more time tonight. I want to get rolling on this. Real quickly, my name is Paul Michael. I would love to welcome you on to our Revolution Roofing overview. We're going to take about 10 to 15 minutes, kind of give you a brief corporate overview about what we're doing, why so many people are so excited, kind of give you some of the success that we've already been able to achieve in a very short amount of time. Actually, within the last week, we had an amazing opportunity come into our laps that we already actually have roofers on in Amarillo, Texas. Can't tell you much more about it other than that, but an amazing opportunity for us. Have over 41 roofers already on a job in Amarillo, Texas, and it came because one person ended up sending us a lead. So let's go ahead and get rolling real quick. First of all, let me get over here. My name is Paul Michael. I'm not going to kind of go through all my background, but I started out in sales when I was in my early 20s, became an entrepreneur. Over the last 30 years, I've kind of kind of segued into, not segued, but kind of found my niche when it came to almost being a disruptor in business. I've had the opportunity to do that in a couple of different businesses. One was a multi-million dollar gold business, a couple other businesses as well. None of that success came from myself. It's just come from the fact that I've been able to find solutions to big problems and come up with big paychecks. And so I got started. You know what? I don't know why that went all the way to that. But actually, what I wanted to do is tell you, we'll start out with our kind of our beginning. I was going to put this at the end, but I'm kind of going to put it at the end. One of my other partners in this, we have two different people that are partners in this. I have a gentleman who is a business partner of mine that's been in the roofing business for over 15 years. Started out throwing shingles off of roofs. So worked every possible every possible way you can in the roofing business, all the way up to running territories, took a one area from about 40 million to over 130 million within 5 years. So he knows how to scale this business. He knows how to do well, helped a billion-dollar company become a even bigger billion-dollar company. I told him, listen, when you decide to ever go out and do this on your own, you and I have to do this together. And so he knows how to run the roofing side of it, the nuts and bolts, every aspect when it comes to that. He's actually on the ground in Amarillo, Texas tonight with our group of roofers that are out there on this amazingly huge project, which I'll get into in a little bit. But on the third step of this, or the third part of this, I started talking to a friend of mine who I went to high school with. His name is Clint Robertson. You can search him. He was on The Apprentice, on Donald Trump's Apprentice years and years ago. He's a CPA. He is a real estate attorney. He has been in the building and contracting business for close to 30 years, has done every single part of that you can imagine. And about 7 years ago, started out with a show called Boise Boys with his partner Luke on a little network maybe some of you have heard of that does rehab shows where they take homes and redo them. Little network called HGTV. They had a contract with them for about 7 years, and the last year and a half have decided to go out on their own, create another show called Building Boise, and this is going to show up in hundreds of millions of homes around the world. They're going to get worldwide distribution. They just signed a huge deal. But on top of that, they also have the ability to bring in those that they want to be a part of what they do and to benefit. So not only do you have my partner Ken, who's been in this industry, who knows it from the inside out, knows everything about it, to doing what I do, which is helping run the corporate side of things, but also helping to build the field with training and management and those type of things. But then on top of that, you've got the background of someone who is worldwide recognized as someone just amazing, who has the celebrity and the personality. But more importantly, I said there was going to be a huge announcement tonight, and I have been in talks with Clint about something, and this is more funny than it is serious, so don't take this serious. But I believe the most important person that's going to be associated with the amazing new show is on this next slide. And tonight, I've been allowed by Clint Robertson and Luke to make this announcement to us exclusively here on this call. So we may not have a lot of people on this call tonight, but this is videoed. they have a new executive producer, and you're looking at that new executive producer for Building Boise. You can tell I took this onto AI. I had one of my business partners that said he doesn't want any kind of Harvey Weinstein or any kind of problems with that, so I need to delay low. But I am going to be an executive producer on their show. And the only reason for that is so that we can have more exposure for Revolution Roofing. We're going to have one of their shows. I'll be on it, maybe more than one show, but Revolution Roofing is going to be intertwined with Building Boise, with Clint and Luke, and worldwide distribution. How many of you think that's not a bad way to go? So this was just something funny I kind of put out there tonight, but we're going to have the ability to be associated with someone who's already got instant credibility around the world because of what he's already done and what he's going to continue to do along with his show. So a little background on why we know our system will work for you. So I was involved in something called ERC. And some of you do know about it, some of you don't. It was something called the Employee Retention Tax Credit. And what it did was it changed lives. We all know that during COVID, pardon me, during COVID, a lot of businesses kept their employees on and they kept paying them out of their own pockets. We created a business because there was the government created a program called ERC, which if you kept your employees employed out of your own pocket during that time, you could qualify for up to $26,000 per employee. And so what happened was our people, our reps, and some of them are on here tonight, some of them made over six figures doing this in the last 12 months. They were able to go out and find businesses that they could help. And so that ERC, we used the exact same program that we're going to use tonight. The numbers were extremely large, so it made a great difference in people's lives. And I'll tell you what happened with that in a couple of minutes. But trillions were distributed to U.S. businesses. They were high payouts per deal. Why that means so much to what we're doing and why I want to give you background on that will become evident in a couple of minutes. But many affiliates, like I said, made life-changing income. We were able to help thousands of people earn six figures using the exact same system we'll be showing you today. And we helped a very large number of people earn 60,000 plus. Now, why it matters here. ERC proved how powerful the right opportunity can be when structured correctly. It also proved the downside of one-time programs. And I'll explain why that matters and why we changed what we're doing and why we're in the roofing business. It reinforced the importance of endless demand, real-world services, and long-term income potential. So, why roofing? Why roofing? I'll tell you. Why we're here. We've been looking for an industry that can't be replaced by AI or technology, but can be enhanced by it. We're already in our line of work utilizing drones to help us with doing the dimensions for the roof. We're also using it in AI in the background, helping us price and get the numbers correctly. Guess what? Roofing is recession proof. How many of us realize roofs don't last forever? How many of us realize when you have a hurricane or a tornado or hail or any of these number of things that come through, they can affect a roof in a big way. And roofs get used up and they have to be replaced. So it has recurring and scalable income. Now, are roofs going to be replaced every year? Absolutely not. But a lot of these businesses, we're going to show them how they can have a maintenance contract with us so that the life of their roofs can last longer, so that they can document how their roof is along the way. Because guess what? A lot of times when you try to go and use your insurance, they'll say, oh, that's just normal wear and tear. But if you can show, hey, this is what my roof looked like when it was done. This was an evaluation that was made on it. And then 6 months down the road, a hailstorm comes. Now they may just say, hey, that was normal wear and tear. But if you can show what it looked like on day one to what it looked like 6 months down the road, because we've documented, we've done aerial photos, drone photos, we come back every month, every 6 months, every quarter, whatever that time frame may be, guess what? Someone's going to pay for that because it's going to help them in the long run. Now, you as the person that brought that lead in, you're going to get paid on a residual basis on that. So just some overview real quickly. On the United States roofing industry, this is just an overview of 2025. Estimated $75 billion a year is annual on commercial roofing, over 100,000 roofing contractors nationwide. So it's a very highly fragmented industry. That means there's a ton of them out there, but do they all do the best work? When you've got 100,000 contractors out there, guess how many actual roofers that they have working for them? It's going to be hundreds and thousands, maybe in the millions. And guess what? If they don't have a documented system that works, they don't hold their people accountable, they don't make sure they go through drug testing all the time, they don't make sure they're on the legal side of things all the time, guess what? We have the ability to put a system into effect that gives our clients the best possible outcome, the best possible service. And guess what that does in turn? It brings more and more to us on a monthly basis. Highly fragmented industry equals massive opportunity and consolidation for scale. Now, replacement and repair work, that dominates new construction. There's a lot of new construction that's going on, and I'll give you an example of that tonight. But how many of you realize replacement and repair work is a huge amount? Now, commercial roofing, key stats, like I said, $65 to $70 billion annual. Average commercial roofing project is $500,000. Now, remember that in your head. My partner in his last business, in his last company that he was building for another individual, his average was around $1 million. Some are going to be higher, some are going to be lower. But remember that 500,000 when we get to the numbers we're talking about, how it's going to matter to you. Major demand, warehouses, retail centers, office buildings, hospitals. Those are the things that we're going to concentrate on, and we're going to teach you how to go out and talk to those. Long-term maintenance contracts create recurring revenue. Majority of commercial contractors, they reported increased sales in 2025. How many of you realize there's a lot of building going on? How many have heard of data centers being built for some of these big AI companies? There's roofing going up. I flew into Dallas, Texas, and back into Fort Lauderdale last week. I took a picture out the window as we were landing. I couldn't even count how many roofs are in that picture that fast. So there's a ton of business. How many realize we all have a roof over our head right now, unless you're out in your car with the sunroof open or you're sitting out in a field? Roofing is one of the, outside of the foundation, roof is pretty important. And that's what we're looking at on a daily basis. Residential roofing, some of the key stats may not be as big, but how many realize there's a big market for that as well? Estimated $50 to $55 billion annual residential roofing market. The majority of residential roofs are replaced every 15 to 30 years. And it's driven by storm damage, insurance claims, and aging housing stock. How many realize my parents live in a house that is, they bought that house in 1969. I'm now 55 years old. My mom just told me the other day when I was in town, they're going to have to look to us to help get that roof redone very soon. Now, most residentials, once again, they're contractors. They expect continued growth in 2025 and beyond. Why roofing is recession-proof and recession-resistant? It's roof failure is not an option. You cannot have a roof. I mean, even if a hurricane hits or a tornado hits, you can't just sit there and go, oh, we'll get to it when we get to it. How many of us realize on a daily basis, if a roof goes bad, you need to get it done quickly? Insurance often covers the replacement costs. We're working with someone that I had on a couple of weeks ago, and we'll have on him more. I did a whole video with him in Dallas, who is a public adjuster. I didn't even know what a public adjuster was, but now I realize how important they are. How many of us know if somebody comes out from the insurance company, they may or may not have our best interest in heart? They come out, and how many have ever heard that saying, we're from the government, we're here to help you? Nothing against the government, but I don't always think they have our best interest in heart. If someone from the insurance company sends out an adjuster and says, this is what you qualify for, how many of us might go, oh, okay, I guess that's what we qualify for? We have a public adjuster that we work with who has helped people get hundreds and thousands of dollars more than what the insurance company said they qualified for. And we have that available on every project that we do. We're going to help those commercial contracts get more because they're experts in looking at every line of that policy that you and I would never even know what to look for and find exactly what you qualify for to get you the maximum amount. They don't come to you every month and say, hey, you know what, we're going to take some money off of your policy and your premium because you've been paying so well, do they? They don't. But when it's time for them to pay out they're going to try every single way to pay the least amount possible. And we're going to make sure that that doesn't happen. So businesses cannot operate without a functional roof. Maintenance contracts create predictable repeat revenue. Let's go. The bottom line, like you said, combined, it's a $120 billion industry. It's endless demand. It's not impacted by AI or automation, which is shown by we have people that are building data centers for some of these AI companies out there. You go out and see it. You can go out and read about it. People are doing this all the time. But guess what? They're using human roofers to build these roofs. So guess what? It's not impacted by AI or automation. It actually is needed to go out and help build all these things. It's built on real assets and real work, and it's ideal for long-term scalable affiliate models like what we're doing. The reason I got excited is because we get to disrupt another and revolutionize another industry. It's taking what I know and using the most powerful marketing system ever created, which is referral marketing. Now, some of you are sitting on here tonight and you're going, I am not excited about roofing. I was not fired up about roofing either until I really started looking at the numbers and I started looking at what it could do for those affiliates within our company and how we could help people make more money. That's been one of my goals since I was 24 years old, is to be able to impact people in a positive way. And a big way to do that is help them financially. Some of the people that are on this call tonight are on here because they benefited from the ERC program. And my goal is to go out and help as many people as we possibly can. Now, are we going to help everyone? Is every single person going to put in the work and the time and the effort into this? Absolutely not. But those that do are going to benefit. Why referral marketing wins? Trust transfer instantly through referrals. Now, if you're sitting here tonight going, I don't know anything about roofing, good. We don't want you to know anything about roofing. My business partners and those that work with him that are going to go out and do the estimating, they do. But how many of you, raise your hand, even if you're sitting at home right now, I encourage you to do this. Raise your hand right now if you know anyone that owns a roof, a business that owns a roof, a home that owns a roof. We all do. How many of you could go to that person and say, hey, I don't know if your roof is perfect right now. I don't know if you need any of this, but I work with a company that does free home inspections, does free business inspections to make sure that your roof is okay. And guess what? If it's not, if there is work that needs to be done, they can show you how you can do it without having any money out of your pocket. How many of us could do that all day long? How many of us could know people who could benefit from this? So having friends, having referral marketing, trust transfers instantly, decision time is dramatically shorter, no long sales cycles or cold outreach, prospects come pre-qualified, they're higher close rates. And let me tell you something, when I get to these numbers in a moment, I'm going to give you one example that is, now, is every example going to be like this one, a home run out of the park? Absolutely not. But I believe facts tell, stories sell. I can tell you all day long how it's going to work, but I'd rather show you and tell you a story. So why this matters, once again, this matters for you as someone who doesn't understand the roofing business. All you've got to do is bring people to us. Let us do it for you. Let us talk to them. Let us close the deal. Let us show your client, your friend, your neighbor, your church, whoever you have, let us show them that we want to do the best job possible and we want to have a long-term residual business with them. So how we use it, once again, we leverage existing relationships. We get warm introductions to the decision makers. Roofing crews and our infrastructure are already in place. And I'm going to give you this example in just a minute, which I'll close everything with. But it shows how ready we are, how our infrastructure is already built, and how my partner already has everything set. What he accomplished in less than 7 days, from a phone call to him to putting gentlemen on a roof in Amarillo, Texas in 7 days, was nothing short of phenomenal. This guy outworks me like 10 to 1, but I've upped my game in the last week because of watching him. So I want to get into our pay plan because that's what everybody wants to know. What does it matter? How does it matter to me? And I know we're going a little longer than I said we would, but I think this stuff is so important. So what you're going to do is, all you've got to do is bring a lead. We give you a website. You can have your own QR code. You can have your own link. You can go in there and you can put in leads. And when you put in leads, we follow up on those leads. Our people will call the customer. Our people will set up the time to go out and do the estimate. We'll get on the roof. You don't have to get on a roof. When we started talking about this, I told my partner, if I have to get on a roof, I'm probably going to be off of it in about 5 minutes and not in a good way. But what we do is this: you bring us a lead. If that turns into a deal and we do the roof, you're going to make 10%. If you bring in someone else who brings, and let's go first to that. Let's say the average roof, remember I told you it was about 500,000 in commercial. You bring a $500,000 roof. Now, some are going to be more, some are going to be less. Just understand this is just for informational example purposes. But let's say you do, and I'll give you an example of one that just hit this out of the park with way astronomically higher than this in a minute. But 500,000 on a roof, you make 10%, you're going to make $12,500 on that roof. You didn't climb a ladder, you didn't talk to anyone about roofing. You don't have to know how to spell roofing. All you've got to be able to do is say, hey, listen, I don't know if you'd be interested, but the company I work with, they're doing free estimates. All you've got to do is get in touch with them. They'll send someone out. They'll get on the phone with you. They'll pre-qualify you, see it's something that even is beneficial for you, and see what would happen. Guess what? If there's storms in an area, do you not think that those people in that storm area, maybe it's a hurricane, maybe it's a tornado, maybe it's hail damage, the people in that area are going to say, hey, I got all these people knocking on my door, or would they rather go to someone like you, someone they know, someone they trust? We all like to buy things from people we trust and like. Now, we also want to give people the opportunity to build a team of people. Some of you are sitting here going, listen, I may know a couple of people I can talk to, but I don't know a ton. But guess what? You may be someone that says, hey, I know someone that's looking for a job. I know someone that's looking for extra income on the side. Guess what? If you turn those people on to us, you'll get your own QR code. Everything will be tracked in the back office. You'll get your own link. You'll be able to track your own team. And if they go out and you bring someone in and they go out and they get a roof, instead of us spending millions of dollars on advertising, recruiting, putting numbers out there to bring people in, you're the one that's going to go out and do it. Every time that person sells a roof that they bring in from a lead, you're going to get paid 5%. So in that same example, let's say you had 10 people that you brought in over the next 6 months, and each one of them went out and did one sale. They brought in one lead. Now, they may bring 10, 15, 20 leads, but let's say one out of those 15 leads, out of those 10 people, turned into it. How many roofs do you have now? You got 10. But how many of those did you get? Maybe you got one or two of your own, but you were able to build a team. Now you've got 10 people that brought in one roof in a month. Let's say it took 6 months. But let's say they each brought in one, and that's 10 times $6,250. That's over $60,000 in your pocket. Once again, I'm not making any income claims. I'm not saying this is going to happen for you, but it's going to happen for someone. I can promise you that. Now, let's say they go out and they want to do the same thing that you're doing. Now, you want to lead by example. We don't want to get just a bunch of people in here and nobody's selling roofs. I don't like those programs. Those programs where you got to get signed up, you got to spend money to get involved, you got to have money for your website, you got to go buy a bunch of products of things that people don't need. We don't do that. But let's say that person goes out and builds a team. We want you to benefit from that. There's no things that you have to do to qualify for it. If the work happens, you get paid. Now, you're going to get paid 3 different times. When they get started, they have to put down a certain amount to get the job started, or if insurance paying it, same thing. Now, we're going to pay you some up front, some in the middle, and when the job is completed, and we'll get to those numbers later on in training. But guess what? That level down, that second level down, now you're getting paid 3%. If it goes down another level, you're going to get paid 2%. So on a $500,000 roof, if you were the person that was at the top and somebody below you got a roof, let's say you did one roof at $500,000, that's $12,500 for yourself, and then it goes down and you can see the numbers. I'm not going to do the numbers for you because I know some of you already got your calculator out and you're going, I know this person who's out in Kansas. I know this person in Texas. I know this person in California. You can build a nationwide team of people without ever leaving your home because everything will be tracked for you and will help you. Our goal, and listen, I know it may sound simple, which it is, but it's not easy. You got to open your mouth. You got to talk to people. You got to be willing to go, hey, you know what? I'm going to get a call on Tuesday night. I got a call next week. Next week, just so you guys know, I'm going to have Clint Robertson on with us as well. He's going to be sharing why he's so excited about this. I'm going to think he's probably going to share a lot about why he thinks making me executive producer is the most important decision he's ever made in his life, even above who he married and who his children went to school with. Just kidding, that's a joke. But let's go to residential roofing, guys. This is not as big on the numbers, but it can be when you're building that team of people. Some of you are going to build an amazing team of people. But let's say you had one. Now, I talked to our some of the roofers that I know, and they think my numbers are too low, which I would much rather under promise and over deliver. But let's just say a total job value was about 12,000. If the average profit, and I forgot to say that on the other one, the average profit is about 25%. So some's going to be higher, some's going to be lower. With us, I think it'll be mostly higher. But on a $12,000 job at 25%, the net profit would be $3,000. If you go and look at these numbers, now, if you got 10 roofs in a month, they're fast. They get done quickly. They take about 2 to 3, maybe 4 days max to get done, depending on the size on residential. You're going to be able to get paid a lot quicker on those. Some of the commercials are going to take 2, 3, and 4, maybe even 6 months. It's going to take a little longer to get the whole payout. So, but if you look at the numbers here, guys, I was always taught I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. If you go out and you do some work yourselves, guess what? If you go to work tomorrow, most jobs, you got to work tomorrow. You got to work the next day to get paid, the next day to get paid, the next day to get paid. Some of you, if you put 6 months to a year into this, you're getting roofs, you're getting learning the business, you're understanding more how it works, you're building a team of people at the same time as you're building it, you could build a residual income for yourself that over time could be astronomical. I'm still getting paid on some of the things I did in the ERC program from 3 years ago. And that's what you want. Now, I'm not going to get into it tonight, but you will have a whole back office. You'll be able to put your own leads in. You'll be able to track your own team. You can see right here, when I did this little screenshot, I actually had referrals of 6 people at that point. Now I think I'm at like 18 to 20. And every time I talk to somebody, I say, hey, listen, I don't know if you're interested. I don't know if you know anybody that owns a roof. And they start laughing. But I say, hey, listen, why don't you get started? Why don't you use my link, get registered? Maybe you know somebody you can send to me. You don't have to know anything about this. But last thing I want to do, and there's a lead sheet. You can actually put leads in the back office and we take care of them so you can see that. I want to stop sharing just for a second. We also have materials. I hate Zoom more than anything on earth. And there's a reason why. But I want to end with this. In the last 7 days, we had an amazing opportunity that came to us because of a gentleman, one of the people in our company. I'm not going to tell you who, because I don't want anybody bombarding them. But this person brought one lead to us. And what this has turned into in less than 7 days is he went out, and because he knew someone who was in a high position within a company, we are working on a data center. It's about 5 miles long, a mile wide. It's about 3 years worth of work. We put 41 roofers on a roof within 7 days. This lead come in on Sunday night of the week of Sunday a week ago. And a week later, we had people on their way to Amarillo, Texas to work on this thing. And I can't give you any more information on that because we had to sign NDAs and all these different things. But this is going to help those roofers make an incredible amount of money. And I started looking at the numbers. This person that brought us that lead, because of that 10%, is going to make about $7,200 a week over the next 6 to 8 months. $7,200 a week because they talked to one person who got them in touch with our experts and went from there. So this is a phenomenal opportunity, guys. It's going to get better every single day. We are going to do training. We're going to have videos. We're going to have a back office chock full of all kinds of different stuff. My partner in the our CTO, James DeVries, has put together something phenomenal. Now, what I would encourage all of you to do is over the next 7 days till we do this again next Tuesday is find every single person you can to pack that call. You got to understand, use that story. We had one lead of one person that brought in who's going to make about $7,200 a week. If you do those numbers, $7,200 a week, let's say 72 weeks, or 50, I'm sorry, 7,200 times 52 weeks, that's $374,000 But that came from somebody who is a personal referral from somebody. It didn't come from cold calling. It didn't come from kicking in doors or knocking on doors or making phone calls. It came from a referral network, which is exactly what this is all about. So I appreciate you joining me tonight. I hope I did a good enough job over the last 30 minutes of explaining this. We're really excited about where we're going with this, and I hope you are as well. Thanks, guys, and have a great night.